What up, fantasy sports world? It's your boy Open Line, one half of the Recap Fantasy Football Podcast, and NFL is back, baby. NFL is here. It's time for some football. Are you ready for some football? Some fantasy football. All right, we back again, me and my co-host, my brother from another mother, DZ. Won't be on the show today, but he'll definitely be on the next episode. I'm just giving y'all some content, something to work with for Thursday Night Football with the Cowboys versus the Eagles game to start the season off. Giving y'all these players so y'all can put them on your lineups, your prize picks, however you gonna do it, make you some money and get started, right? So before I get into the show, let me give y'all just a brief little rundown of what's gonna happen. We are gonna skip week 1 football, doing a little bit something different this time. We're not gonna do a show for week 1 of football. Just gonna cover the Cowboys and Eagles game. We're gonna skip the week 2 because we need to kind of watch football to kind of analyze and see how these players gonna play. And my job is to do all the research so you don't have to. The stats, the highlights, whatever I need to tell y'all about these players so y'all can put y'all lineups together and get you some money. You feel what I'm saying? That's my job. That's what I'm here for. To make sure you get paid and make sure you pick the best players for the circumstances, the matchups, whatever the situation is. I'm going to make sure I do as much research as humanly possible to make sure you get the best out of your lineups. Understand me? So without further ado, right? Enough with the intro. Let's get into these lineups. Cowboys versus Eagles game. Let's go. Let's get it. And the first player up to start the season, to start the NFL season, is none other than Dak Prescott. Now, Dak Prescott is not necessarily going to come in and save the day. I'm not saying Dak Prescott is Superman. But what I'm telling y'all is not to sleep on Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott was injured half the year, the rest of the year. He played his last game in week 9. Right, he was out for the rest of the year, and Cooper Rush had to come in and try to take the team to the promised land. That didn't happen. They traded him away to the Ravens. So Dak is back, right? What we're not going to do is sleep on Dak Prescott. One of the highest paid QBs in the National Football League. Understand me? Dak is not chopped liver. I'm not saying the Cowboys going to beat the Eagles. I'm saying Dak Prescott is not chopped liver, right? What you see on your screen right now is last year's stats and last year's highlights, because what else we got to go by? We're going by last year. But every episode, I'm going to give you some stats and some highlights and tell you why you should pick this player. So, if you're making lineups and you're doing prize picks, put Dak Prescott on your squad if you want to get this money. Pick him! And the next player up. If you're going to pick a quarterback, you got to throw the ball to somebody, right? So why not throw the ball to CeeDee Lamb? Listen, CeeDee Lamb, no matter who is throwing the ball to him, CeeDee Lamb is going to CeeDee Lamb. You understand me? Look at the stats up on your screen. Once again, last year's stats, last year's highlights. But we're talking about CeeDee Lamb here, okay? CeeDee Lamb is not trash, right? He's one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. At least top 10. I'm not saying the best, but he's definitely in the top 10. Argue with your mama about it. Understand me? Look at CeeDee Lamb's stats. Look at CeeDee Lamb's highlight reel for last year. Just some sprinkles there. Let's give you a reason why you should pick CeeDee Lamb. Mind you, the Eagles secondary, yes, they were the best defense last year because they won a Super Bowl, but the Eagles secondary still gave up 175 yards on average last year against teams. And we talk about CeeDee Lamb here. Put CeeDee Lamb on your squad if you want to get this money. Pick him. Next player up, last player up for the Dallas Cowboys is George Pickens. Now, George Pickens got traded to the Cowboys from the Steelers. George Pickens was the Steelers' number 1 wide receiver. He got traded to the Cowboys, now making him wide receiver number 2. So here's what I'm saying to y'all. Dak Prescott now has 2 star receivers to throw the ball to. This ain't the same Cowboys from last year. I'm not saying the Cowboys going to beat the Eagles. What I'm telling you is that Dak Prescott has somebody to throw the ball to other than CeeDee Lamb. See, right now, CeeDee Lamb is a threat. If they double team CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens out there wide open. And he can run fast and he can catch the deep ball. Okay? Put George Pickens on your squad if you want to get this money. Look at the highlight reel. Yes, the Steelers highlight reel. Yes, it is. I'm aware of that. He has no highlights for the Cowboys, but Dak Prescott got 2 warriors to throw the ball to. This going to be a great game. Put George Pickens on your squad if you want to get this money. Pick him. And now, for the NFL champions of last year, the Philadelphia Eagles, the champs are here. The champs are here. The champs are here, right? To start the season off, the Philadelphia Eagles are here to play some football. And since Micah Parsons got traded to the Green Bay Packers, there's nobody here to stop Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley is about to run a marathon against the Cowboys defensive line. And he can catch the ball, right? I didn't even need to make an introduction, right? Just look at Saquon right there on your screen. Just look at him. Do I need to introduce y'all to Saquon Barkley? Do I need to say anything other than nothing but just show you the stats and show you the highlights? It's Saquon Barkley, Mr. Hurdle Man, Mr. Madden 2026 himself on the cover of Madden 26. Listen, Saquon Barkley is here to give you some fantasy numbers. If you want to get this money and you really want to get paid, put Saquon Barkley on your squad. Pick him. Next Eagles player up is A.J. Brown, the number one wide receiver for the Eagles. Now, listen, A.J. Brown is getting up there in his years, but he's still a threat out there. A.J. Brown can catch the ball. A.J. Brown going to give you some yards after the catch. He's big, he's strong, and he's fast, and he can jump. We talking about A.J. Brown. Mind you, listen, when Saquon Barkley gets tired and he needs to sit on the bench and drink some Gatorade, A.J. Brown will carry the team to the promised land. I'm telling you, A.J. Brown is going to give you some numbers on your fantasy sports lineup, your Prizepicks, your Fanduel, however you fantasy sports. When it comes to these players, you got to pick the right player for your lineup. Some of the best players I'm going to be giving y'all throughout the season. Put A.J. Brown on your squad if you want to get this money. Pick him. And last but not least is the young kid himself, Devontae Smith. Now, Devontae Smith did not put up a lot of great numbers last year because Saquon Barkley and A.J. Brown, of course. But let's not sleep on Devontae Smith, right? He's out there. He's fast. He's young. And when they stop Saquon, when they stop A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith is wide open, and he will catch that ball, and he will get you a touchdown if he's in a situation to give you one. So, if you find yourself trying to fill a spot, you need to put one more player on your squad, or you got one more pick to make. Devontae Smith is a great pick in this Cowboys game. Mind you, Deron Bland is going to be checking Devontae Smith because they're going to put Trayvon Diggs on A.J. Brown. So Deron Bland can lock Devontae Smith down. But I'm thinking Deron Bland and Trayvon Diggs is going to be double teaming A.J. Brown, which is going to leave Devontae Smith open. So, if you want to get this money, put Devontae Smith on your squad. Pick him. All right, y'all, that is it for the Thursday night football game. These are the players. These are the matchups. This is what you got to start the season with. I just wanted to give y'all a little taste of the show before we get going with the season. Like I said, I'm going to skip week one. No show for week one. Don't look for it, right? Don't look for no show for week one because I got to watch football. I got to do some homework. I got to do my research. I got to make sure I know what I'm talking about before I come get y'all these players. Understand me? So check back with me in week 2 of NFL football so I can give you a recap, pun intended, the name of the show, a recap of what happened last week so that you can go forward picking your players, the best players for the best situation, right? So stay tuned, subscribe, like, share, holla at your people. Hope y'all get this money. And one last thing, anybody who knows anything about fantasy sports, You always got to make multiple lineups, okay? You cannot play fantasy football without making multiple lineups. One lineup is not going to do it. You got to make multiple lineups and multiple combinations. So all the players that I give you going forward are suggestions, right? You don't have to pick everybody that I tell you to pick, right? Everybody that I give you is a suggestion. You make your own lineups, right? But put one of my players on your lineup. Understand me? One of them. You ain't got to get all of them. You do not have to take every player that I suggest to you. But I guarantee you one of my players is going to score good on your squad. They're going to give you some fantasy points numbers. You need them fantasy points numbers. I'm telling you. I'm not going to talk about a player unless they're productive. Right? I'm not even going to waste my time with it. I'm only giving y'all the productive players for each week as we go. Right? So like I said, like, subscribe, and share. Support your boy. Support myself and my brother DZ. Like I said, DZ will be with us on the next episode, full episode. We're going to give y'all a bunch of more players. Can't give y'all a real timeline on live streams. We're just going to give y'all these clips. But every now and then we will pop up with a live stream with y'all and give y'all a whole live stream of us building lineups together, giving y'all the lineup. You can have it for free. We don't ask you for no money. All we ask you to do is like, subscribe, and share. That's it. If you make some money, we did our job. Alright? This your boy Open Mind. Happy drafting. Are you ready for some football, baby? Football is here. Deuces!